author dashing through pages. Chronicles, Gospels, prophets, sages. Leviticus, laws to pause, find phrases. Turning them corners, your spiritual mazes. Genesis to Revelation, so divine. Flip them scripts, endless grace you'll find. Psalms singing sweet, unbroken lines. Hitting that rhythm, wordplay refined. Anybody in here blessed? Anybody in here blessed? Bible in 1 year, we don't rest. Anybody in here blessed? Wake up early, the dawn's light shimmers. Spiritual breakfast, soul food dinners. Isaiah's vision, Ezekiel's figures. Walk through the fire, no one limbers. Kings and judges, prophets profound. Plowing the word, no mythical ground. Verse after verse, wisdom's bound. Heavenly soundtrack, soul serving sound. Anybody in here blessed? Anybody in here blessed? Bible in 1 year, we don't rest. Anybody in here blessed? No shortcuts, all divine routes. Listen to the whispers, no room for doubt. Parables drop stronger than gold faucets. Souls hydrated from divine prophets. Study the book, change perspectives. Carefully crafted, not too subjective. A year to reflect, learning perfect. Patterns of grace that time can't deflect. Old Testament drops deep and so real. Kings and warriors, covenant seals. Split that Red Sea, divine reveal. Commandments written, not made of steel. Bethlehem birth to cross on the hill. Unfolding the Navic blessings, pastor with skill. Scripture flip, every verse fulfilled.
Through the word, every verse, every chapter, nothing unheard. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Yo, online sermons, holy vibes delivered. Spreading light, got the sinners reconsidered. Psalm to psalm, man's like a holy DJ. Flipping through scripture, repping the Yahweh. Your emotes in the chat, praising the message. Flat cap on point, teaching eternal lessons. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick. Raining blessings down with a slick rhyme trick. Virtual congregation, united in devotion. 1 year strong, a spiritual promotion. He's a life coach with divine instructions. Streaming holiness, no room for interruption. Flat cap changed the game, new pastoral fame. Virtual shepherd, he's embracing the mainframe. In the comments, affirmatives and amens. With each Goliath tackled, faith extends. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Yo, online sermons, holy vibes delivered. Spreading light, got the sinners reconsidered. Psalm to psalm, man's like a holy DJ. Flipping through scripture, repping the Yahweh. Your emotes in the chat, praising the message. Flat cap on point, teaching eternal lessons. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick. Raining blessings down with a slick rhyme trick. Virtual congregation, united in devotion. 1 year strong, a spiritual promotion. He's a life coach with divine instructions. Streaming holiness, no room for interruption. Flat cap changed the game, new pastoral fame. Virtual shepherd, he's embracing the mainframe. In the comments, affirmatives and amens. With each Goliath tackled, faith extends. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. 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 Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick. Raining blessings down with a slick rhyme trick.
Wowzers. I don't know why it suddenly clicked to that, but there we go. That's the one I want. Check 1 2. Is that working now? Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Very good. Very good. Now let me try this. Is this gonna work? It does. It works. There we go. It worked. It worked. Well, let's see what this one sounds like. Okay, that was less than stellar. This one will be annoying. Oh, it wasn't as loud as I expected. I wonder why those are not so... I'll turn it up all the way now. And the last one. Okay, that was interesting. But the volume on that's not very loud. That's okay. That's okay. It doesn't blast you out. Okay. Let me turn that off. Let me get rid of these. Let me see who's actually here. All right, all right, all right. Bum, 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 bum. No, save the changes. Don't discard them. All right. Hello, Bob. Good morning. Welcome in, friend. Good to have you here this morning. Oh, interesting. I put the part of the Genesis in the passage, and when Stream Elements, I should say, put it in for the title, it gave part of it there with can't think of the app that's Chapterverse. Chapterverse put it in there. Interesting. I did not notice that if it's done that before. How are you doing, Bob? What are you up to? Anything cool going on in your life today? I'm gonna go look at the pond for a minute because it is super, super windy out there. And let's just look at the pond itself. So you can see my bouncing dragonfly there above the pond. It has been blown partially sideways, so that wing is almost straight up and down in the air because the wind is going at it. And you can see over here my fish wind, I don't know what they call it, pinwheel, whatever, is spinning like crazy. And the bench has been blown over. So it is super windy today. That bench has, grooves all the way through it. There's almost no substance to that bench. So for it to get blown over, it's blowing like crazy. Not really today. You got on a men's retreat over the weekend with your church, which was awesome. Made some good friends who are believers, which is always great. Yeah, retreats are pretty cool. Retreats are pretty cool. See the ripples, watch the bum. All right, so I still need to window capateur.
Space_Goblin 999 just followed.
Oh, what do we have? Space Goblin 999. Thank you for the follow. Thank you. And let's change the view here. Space Goblin, welcome in. Glad to have you. How'd you find us? How did you come across and figure out? Let me see, where am I? There, so I'm looking for, sorry, I'm trying to talk and navigate at the same time here. Switch into dark mode so that the screen shows up better for the text. Boy, that was a long delay today. Sometimes it just like bing and it switches everything. Maybe since I got the 3 screens, it's going to take a while. T West, welcome in. Pastor Greg, good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. How are you doing, Pastor Greg? Hope you're doing well. Hope you are recovered after Easter and that you had a blessed Easter. You're doing great. Good to hear that. Okay, so Torah Tuesday, those who may be new, the Messiah Monday, so that's just because, MM, and TT and WW, so I'm trying to just have fun with that. So we're studying the Gospels on Monday, reading about Jesus. Torah Tuesday, first 5 books of the Old Testament. Wisdom Wednesday, we've been doing Psalms and Proverbs, and last week we decided to start Job, so that's going to be a little trek. Transform Thursday, talking about ways to transform your life, and we've been looking at spiritual disciplines. And then Friday favorites, pick a book that's a favorite of mine. I think we might finish Ephesians this week, and I'll have to select another book. So we'll see where we go from there. So Food Friday, ooh, a CD sniper. If it was, I could do a cooking stream on Friday. That'd be an interesting thing. Food Friday does have a nice ring to it. Friday favorite food. Oh, there we go. Triple F. Hey, Subdue, good morning to us. All I'm saying is everyone should attend a Southern Baptist church with a full choir just once. Oh, okay. Well, they're not the only ones that you can get a really good full choir. But, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay. That's where we are. We're going to Genesis 22. We're not even halfway through Genesis. Oh, wait, we must have made it further than this. I'm not always great at remembering to write down what we did. We did talk about children. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, because we did talk about the burying, and we did talk about this. So I noticed last week I must have, Monday I hadn't got it right. So I must have missed it Monday and Tuesday last week for some reason. Because we did talk about the price here of negotiating and making sure that he purchased it. Maybe it was $23.19. Let's see where that takes us. Because he was in the fields of Mamre. Yeah. Oh, wait, no. Because we did talk about... Yep, so I didn't write down last week. Okay. Genesis is a big book, but awesome. It is. So we did talk about the whole here showing up of the servant and talk about how many trips that must have been going up and down to water all the camels. And I think we may have even got to where I feel like we got to Isaac and Ishmael burying their father. That's, I think, where we left off. I must not have wrote it down Monday and Tuesday last week. Okay, scrolling through all the Rebecca, Laban, because we were pointing out the whole, it was her mother's house that she went to, and then it was mother's tent that Isaac went into. There was a whole section there of reference to mother throughout all of that. So I know we went to the death of Abraham. Left his son Isaac while he was still alive and gave gifts. Oh, that's right. Abram was 175. We did the sons of Ishmael. this must be where we left off, is 25:19. Let me go back here. Oops. 25:18. So then I can cross that off. Let me go change what it says so anybody coming in. And then I need to change what it says. We're reading Genesis at the top. Okay. I thought I had all of my housekeeping done. Come on, there we go. There we go. And I did put over here a little gray background so that the code there, by the way, if you are not aware of this, there is a gathering of streamers and content creators and a conference in Orlando for Christian content creators. So if you are interested in that, tickets right now, you can get $10 off with the code FLATCAP. I haven't shown you the promo for that in a while. I need to get the promo up. I was focused on other conferences because this one's further away. But, yeah, let me... Oh, I did not finish that, but I did that. And I didn't do that. I did that. Looking at my sticky notes of what my list to do. So, what was I just saying? Oh, yeah, ReachCon promo. I can download that and play that. Okay. I haven't added that back since I redid a bunch of stuff on the computer. Had to do a reboot of such. So, anyway, there's that. The other thing, too, is if you consider yourself a Christian streamer and you're trying to figure out how to intentionally focus on being a Christian in the space. If you want to consider yourself a digital missionary, you're like, nah, I'm not a pastor. I just want to be a witness to my faith online. The Church Digital, we have a cohort to help equip people to be digital missionaries. So you can go check that out. And that course will be starting in 2 weeks. 2 weeks we'll be starting that course. All right. So let's get over to Genesis. Okay. Jacob and Esau. This is the account of Isaac, the son of Abraham. So we did get Ishmael's account, but it was mostly, here's the names of his children, his descendants, boom, so you know the family tree, and then let's move on, because he's not the main character of the story. Oh, you know what I just noticed there? Sorry. Always trying to pay attention to the way things look and my overlays got shifted. Can't see which one that is. That's not the one I want anyway. There we go. So when my overlay got shifted, the border was supposed to be, around the video. And, I should still adjust that up. One more, and boom, boom, boom. There we go. Okay. Anyway. Just fiddling with it. It's still slightly out, but we'll call that good for right now. Okay. So we went through that, and now we've got Isaac that we're going to follow. This is the account of Isaac. What follows the several chapters is not the account of Isaac, except briefly, but the account of Jacob and Esau. The next chapter tells what became of Isaac and his family. Okay. I want to go see if this is the generation. This is the generation. That's what I want to go see here. If it is, it's one of these titles that marks off sections throughout the book of Genesis. So let's go see if that's what we have here. So Genesis 25. Genesis 25. And 19. Yes, these are the generations. So I believe it's Tohu Vohu. Yeah, sorry, Toledot. Wrong one. Toledot. Toledot. Welcome in, Nerdze Bible Nerd.
Strong's H8435.
Toledoth. Let me just check something a minute. Are you hearing that when I played it? Yeah, that's what it did to me. Yes, you did. Okay. Yeah, I'd say it switched my mic or my speakers to send everything to stream, so I can't hear it.
Strong's H8435. Toledoth.
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 Okay, that was a little too loud for me. Turn the volume. There we go. Okay, Toledoth. It's often translated as these are the generations of, according to men and their descendants, genealogical list ones. So, but what's interesting is, like, the account of would be another way to do a translation of it. But look where it happens. Genesis 2, Genesis 5, Genesis 6, Genesis 10, 10 again, then 11, then 25, then, well, it's throughout 25 there, 20 or 36. So we keep getting all of these sections that are marked off. So if we look at Genesis 1 as one way of looking at creation, not saying to creation, some people think that. I'm not sold on that idea, but I see where people see the evidence for it. But here in Genesis 2 starts these are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created. So this is what comes forth from the heavens and the earth. Then 5, this is the book of the generations of Adam. So this is the story and the descendants of Adam. And then 6, these are the generations of Noah. And then 10, these are the generations of the sons of Noah. So we have this title, these are the generations. This is, so it's marking off all So it's like, here's a new chapter. Like, this would be the only place I would break chapters. Like, this is the new, okay, we're starting something new. That would be where I would break these. But anyway, just wanted to show you that. We're at one of those. So it's not, this is the account of Isaac necessarily. This is the story of Isaac's family. Could be a different way of going it. This is what is brought about through Isaac. So just trying to expand the way that we think about that. The son of Abraham. Abraham was the father of Isaac. When Isaac was 40 years old, he married Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean, from Padan Aram, the sister of Laban, the Aramean. So we all know this already. We've already read this again. So it's, in one way, if you think about it, there's stories that we have of a person from one perspective, and then we jump to somebody else's perspective. So if we were reading the story through from Abraham's perspective, we got here's his son and the process for getting his son. Now we're going to shift to the perspective of Isaac from over here. We're going to look from a different angle at the same situations, but we're going to give the account. Why would we repeat this? Because it was probably taught orally, and it's meant to be heard. And so when you hear those repeated things, when you are listening to the story, they add meaning to the story. Laura, good morning, Galaxy. Thank you for the lurk. Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife because she was childless. Okay, this is fascinating on some level. I'm doing really good today, Laura. How about yourself? Abraham has a wife who is barren, and there's where the whole promise comes from. Now, Isaac is going to know that he is the one of the promise. What does Abraham and Sarah do when they are unable to conceive? They try to solve the problem themselves. That's what they do. They try to solve the problem themselves. Here we have Isaac praying that Rebekah would become pregnant. He goes to God with his struggle, which is interesting. Oh, you still have a cough? Well, I hope that goes away soon. But the children struggled inside her, and she said, "What is this happening to me?" So she asked the Lord, and the Lord said to her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples will be separated from within you. You know what? I think we did cover this. Anyway, we'll just go back over it quickly. 1 people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger. So all the way up until that last phrase, nothing out of the ordinary, just an explanation of, hey, you got twins. That's what's going on inside of you. So Isaac prays, and his wife becomes pregnant. She becomes pregnant, and she prays, and she has the Lord tell her what's going on. I have always wondered, does she tell Isaac about this dream, about this answer? We don't know how it is. It says the Lord spoke to her, but most of the times it's a dream or a vision. It doesn't give us an explanation of anything other than God revealed to her. God said to her. So does she keep this to herself? And if she does tell Isaac, is that what causes Isaac to act the way he does? I'm pretty certain that the way that it's told, she favors the younger because of this promise or because of this response. So if she does tell Isaac, does Isaac respond in the opposite because of this? Just wondering. Or does she not tell him, and therefore he responds that way? It's like, I don't know which it is, but I know what he does. When the time came for Rebekah to give birth, there were twins in her womb. Yeah, we just know that. We just read that. Why? This is climactic. It's emphasizing there was indeed this proclamation, and it has come about. The first was reddish all over, like a hairy garment, so they named him Esau. Esau. Kind of sounds like a donkey if you say it that way. Esau, Esau. I don't know why that came to mind. Seir is the etymology, but it draws on some of the same sounds. When his brother came out with his hand clutching Esau's heel, they named him Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when they were born. The name Jacob is a play on Hebrew for the word heel, achev. The name, since it is a verb, probably means something like, may he protect. That is a rear guard, dodging the heel. It did not have a negative connotation until Esau redefined it. That's such an interesting thing to think about. It wasn't negative until his brother changes it. And I think we miss that sometimes. When we know there's a negative connotation to something, we miss it. We miss it because we're used to the flip on it. Oh, thanks, Subdue. Thanks, man. Okay. Okay, so he is 60 years old. We had up here, where was it? He was 40 years old when he married Rebekah. We don't know how old Rebekah is at this point, but he does not have a child till he's 60. They've been married 20 years. Just think about that for a minute. Being married 20 years before you have a child. Now, just not saying this happens to everyone, but historically, you would likely have a child within the first 2 years of getting married. Historically, that's pretty true. So if you'd been married 20 years, you would have a teenager in this day and age that would be going off to college or somewhere else. Now's when they're going to have a kid at 60. Well, we don't know how old Rebecca is. Likely 15 to 20 years younger. So let's just say she's 45. That's still pretty old to be having a kid. Really old to be having your first kid. She's 40 nowadays, a little bit closer to maybe a possibility. Ancient times, that everyone would be calling her barren at that point. So it's interesting. We don't get the knowledge of how long that was until after the prayer is answered. Did you see that? We don't get the knowledge of it took that long for the prayer to be answered until afterwards. When the boys grew up, Esau was a skilled hunter, a man of the open fields, but Jacob was an even-tempered man living in tents. I think we looked this up, the even-tempered thing, but let me just look at it again. The disjunctive clause juxtaposes Jacob and Esau and draws attention to the striking contrast. In contrast to Esau, a man of the field, Jacob was civilized, as the phrase living in tents signifies. Whereas Esau was a skillful hunter, Jacob was calm and even-tempered, which normally has the idea of blameless. Okay. So Jacob is even-tempered. Well, he is the one who's going to do the cooking. He is the one in the house. He is the civilized man who lives in the tent. And his brother's the wild beast out in the field. See how they're being portrayed? So, remember when this is getting written down, and that what we are also doing here for the people of Israel, if Moses is the one writing this down, is explaining the connotation and the background of the surrounding nations. Ones were related to and ones were not. And so here, the portrayal of the brother that is not of your family, he was a wild man, and so these people are wild and they're not civilized, and that's why they act the way they do still today. So you can see that connotation coming on down here through the narrative. The narrative tells us what he is like, but the connotation is, hey, when you go and you have your dealings with this line of the family, you know what they're like because you know what Grandpa was like. Okay. Isaac loved Esau because he had a taste for fresh game, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Okay. Isaac loves Esau because he puts food in his belly. And Rebekah loved Jacob. And we have no explanation of why. Okay. Let's go look at love here. Which word for love do they use? Is it the same love? Excuse me. Where's 28? What word for love? Ahab. Okay, Ahab. I usually remember this one. Do you so-and-so take so-and-so to Ahab and to Ahold to be your wedded spouse until death do you part? And it is, yes. Ahab. I will Ahab them and Ahold them. Ahab.
Strong's H 157. Ahav. And the form just below that, ahave.
They always pronounce it differently than me. Okay. So this is human love for one another. So this is family love. It is also used as human love for God. Act of being a friend. And sometimes God's love towards people, but there's also Hesed is mercy, loving kindness, loving loyalty. Okay. Oops, wrong one. Now Jacob cooked some stew when Esau came in from the open fields. He was famished. So Esau said to Jacob, "Feed me some of the red stuff." Yes, the red stuff, because I'm starving. This is why he was also called Edom. Now, as a kid, I always thought Edom, yeah, because he wanted to eat him some stew. But no, Edom is means using the word red. It was red stew. Let's go back and see. 29. Does it have Edom stew? That would be really funny if it was full on that. Came in from the field and was faint. Oh, it's the next one. And Esau said to Jacob, "Feed me, I pray thee, with the same Edom." Ah, Edom. The Edom. For I am faint, and there was called Edom. So it is Edom, and he's going to be called Edom. Okay, now that might sound like that's not the same, but it's just a matter of the breath marks. They're not actually vowels, and so it is. That's also funny. Is that Adam? Oh, yeah, I believe it is Adam.
Strong's H 122. Adom.
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 And we're going to go Adam.
Strong's H 119.
Okay, that's red.
Adam.
Yeah, so red, and then we have Edom. Okay, not going to go all the way back and pick up the Adam, but I think it's there. Anyway, it's breath marks, vowel points, if you will. They're not actually vowels. It's just how do you breathe when you're pronouncing the consonants. That's all those are, is to tell you, and it's the three same letters there. Okay, enough on that. But Jacob replied, "First sell me your birthright." Okay, wait a minute. I thought he was the civilized one. I thought he was the civilized, upright one. Why is he doing this? Why is he asking for this? Well, I'm not sure exactly why he's asking for it. Let's see if it gives us any hints to his motivation. "Look," said Esau, "I'm about to die. What use is my birthright?" Okay, so we see that the contrast here of Esau being civilized, he's not rash in his decision making. Esau, the guy of the field, is more rash and prone to anger, bitterness, resentment, and going to act quickly. But also, by the way, these are the generations of Isaac. We have Isaac mentioned, and he prays to God, and Isaac leaves the story for quite a bit. Okay. I'm going to die. What good's my birthright? But Jacob said, swear an oath to me now. So Esau swore an oath to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. Swear to me today. Okay. Esau had to have had this plan already in place. And this was just the opportunity to take advantage of it. So don't know when he first thought up, hey, let me, try to get the birthright from my brother. Don't know if that's an idea that mom had planted in his head, or mom had told him that the older is supposed to serve the younger, and this is his way of being able to make that come about. Don't know the motivation here, but this is taking advantage of his brother in a situation. So, what does that say about him? Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and lentil stew. Notice it's now switched. It's not Edom stew. Esau ate and drank, then got up and went out. So Esau despised his birthright. So why is it he despised his birthright? Because he was willing to sell it for stew. Like, he didn't see it of value. The clause which concludes the episode is a summary statement which reveals the underlying significance of Esau's actions. To despise means to treat something as worthless or with contempt. Yes, Esau's willingness to sell his birthright was evidence that he considered it to be unimportant. Like, yeah, it means nothing to me. Whoop-de-doo, I'm the oldest. I'm going to go hunting. I'm going to go do what I want to do. There was a famine in the land subsequent to the earlier famine that occurred in the days of Abraham. Isaac went to Abimelech, king of the Philistines in Gerar. The Lord appeared to Isaac and said, "Do not go down to Egypt. Settle down in the land that I will point out to you." So he goes over to Abimelech in the Philistines. They're not called the Philistines yet, but this is one of those times where you can say, hey, later on, we identify where they were so people know they're precursors to this. You know, that'd be like the English settlers in the United States are not part of the United States, but they are the precursor to what becomes the United States. So something along those kinds of lines. But don't go down to Egypt. Interesting. Where did Abraham and Sarah run into problems when they went down to Egypt? That's very likely where they get Hagar, the slave. Could have been earlier, but it's the handmaiden, is when they were in Egypt because she was Egyptian. And then she tagged along with them throughout their time. And that became a thorn in the side later on. Yeah, so this is the opposite of what his father did. The Lord appeared to Isaac, "Do not go down to Egypt. Settle down in the land that I will point out to you. Stay in the land. Then I will be with you, and I will bless you. For I will give all these lands to you and to your descendants, and I will fill the solemn promise I made to your father Abraham. I will multiply your descendants so that they will be as numerous as the stars in the sky, and I will give them all these lands. All the nations of the earth will pronounce blessings on one another using the name of your descendants. All this will come to pass because Abraham obeyed me and kept my charge, my commands, my statutes, and my laws." So Isaac settled in Gerar. Hey, Lucis, welcome in. So we had this, here's what Isaac did. Isaac had kids. Boom, let's go forward in the story and let's set up the whole thing. Why? Because we want the birthright thing settled out of the way before we get the other manipulation later on. So we're breaking up the story of Jacob and Esau into two parts by breaking up the story of Isaac and putting out of order when his kids are born and what happens. So this is likely backing up before there are kids. When the men of that place asked him about his wife, he replied, "She is my sister." He was afraid to say, "She is my wife," for he thought to himself, "The men of this place will kill me to get Rebekah, because she is very beautiful." Okay, so he does obey God and not go down to Egypt, but he does make the same mistake that Daddy did by saying, "Hey, this is my sister," and we'll see what consequences come of that. After Isaac had been there a long time, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, happened to look out a window and observe Isaac caressing his wife Rebekah. You busted! Let's see what it says, caressing here. Fondling. Okay. The root of laugh may sound play with the name Isaac right before it. Here it depicts an action, probably caressing, that indicates immediately to Rebekah was Isaac's wife, not his sister. Isaac's deception made a mockery of God's covenantal promise. No, I don't think it made a mockery of it. It showed his lack of trust. Ignoring God's promise to protect and bless him, Isaac lied to protect himself and acted in bad faith to the, yes, so the last part there. He was neglecting, I wouldn't say ignoring, neglecting God's promise of protection and blessing when he lied to protect himself. And he acted in bad faith towards the men there. That part, absolutely. Yeah, that escalated quickly, yes. So Abimelech summoned Isaac and said, "She is really your wife. Why did you say she is my sister?" Isaac replied, "Because I thought someone might kill me to get her." Okay, this is like, okay, we overlooked this, but think about this. He's not thinking, and Abraham didn't think this true for no reason. Okay? I like the way your wife looks. Let me kill you so I can take your wife. Had to be a reality of the day, because we keep running into the circumstance where someone lies and says they're my sister, although technically true. You can use the word sister to say family because she is her, a cousin. So he could say that. They don't have the distinction between cousins and sisters and brothers. It is similar, and it is like it's family. That's what it is. Instead of saying wife, it is deception. But it has to be a reality that somebody might come and kill you to take your wife. So, just think of the modern notion, and I really hate this term, but it's used, and you'll understand what I mean. Trophy wife, whatever represents a trophy wife. Often it includes being a supermodel, someone beautiful, arm candy, whatever it is. Like, haha, look at how good I am because of look at how good looking she is. Imagine that back in the day, though, if you did have arm candy, you might die because somebody else might think, that would look good on my arm. Anyway, back to repeating the pattern of the family. Then Abimelech exclaimed, "What in the world have you done to us? One of my men nearly took your wife to bed, and you would have brought guilt on us." Okay, what do we have here in the text? Is it could have or almost did? Almost lied down with. To lie down could imply go to bed with or be euphemistic. Here the verb is modified with the prepositional phrase like as, little brief, modifies the protective verb. It means that someone almost did something. With an imperfect verb, it means to do something soon. This verb uses the perfect verb. Almost translation employed a modal translation. One of my people might easily or might soon have laid with your wife. Yeah, I like that a little better. The perfect verb is not typically modal unless marked by other factors. The verb plus the perfect consecutive may be modal, or the perfect may be modal if okay, yeah, really long. Okay, blah, blah, blah. It could have happened. It might have happened. It almost happened. Yes. And you would have brought guilt on us. Why does he think this is going to be corporate? Okay, this is one of those things that fascinates me that I don't think we understand well enough. The whole idea of corporate sin. Okay? We think this would just be individual adultery. That's what it would be. Individual adultery. No, this is not. This wouldn't be. It's greater than that. Here are the people of God over here, and here are those that are outside, that are Gentiles, that are called to be witness to you being the chosen people of God, and they are to bless you, and you are to receive, they are to receive blessing from you. So it's supposed to be a reciprocal. We come to an understanding of your God. We are not chosen. We are not the elect, but we are going to serve your God nonetheless, and we are going to follow those things, and we will be blessed by that, and we will be able to bless you. So it would have brought guilt on them to violate this circumstance. Okay. So Abimelech commanded all the people, whoever touches his man or his wife will surely be put to death. Like, hey, I am going to make sure, okay, you almost brought guilt on us. I'm going to make sure no one's guilty because I'm going to punish them by death. Okay, the death penalty is going to be there. When Isaac planted in the land, he reaped in the same year 100 times whatever he had sown, because the Lord blessed him. 100-fold. Just think about that number, and then jump forward to planting, and some reap 30, some reap 60, some reaped 100-fold. You don't reap 100-fold. You don't reap 100-fold. Let's just take like a wheat grain for a minute. You plant one wheat grain in the ground, it grows one stalk. On that stalk, you could have a dozen, ears of grain on there. Okay, so that's not going to get you to 100. Now, granted, corn, which they didn't have, one kernel of corn can grow several ears of corn. You could get to those kinds of numbers. But just think about what kinds of things they would have planted, they would have grown. If I plant a carrot seed, I get one carrot. I plant a tomato seed, I can get a whole tomato plant with lots of tomatoes on it. So I can get 30, maybe 60-fold on that, but we're still talking 100-fold. So just think through different grains, legumes. I don't know, lentils, how they actually grow, what they look like, I don't know. But peas would be another example, or beans. You plant one, you get a plant. You can get multiple beans off of one bean that you plant. Okay, so you can get 30 and 60, but 100-fold is amazing. And the explanation is because God did it. So when we get to the New Testament, we're talking about the sowing of the seeds, and some reap 30, 60, and 100. Some it's because God multiplies it. Okay, the man became wealthy. Wouldn't he have already been wealthy because Abraham was wealthy? This is one of those things like, isn't Isaac already wealthy to start with because he has everything that Abraham had? Like, so I think what's accounting here is he is doing this of his own. Yes, great, in context, statement refers primarily to Isaac's material wealth, although reputation and influence are included. Okay, yeah. So if it would have said he became great, now he's a great man, he is one of the greatest men of the area, then I see that more of he's multiplying the wealth that he inherited, and he is utilizing it, and he is getting a good reputation. Yeah. Sorry, I like simpler words like that have more vagueness to it. What does he mean he became great? Well, let's discuss that. He became wealthy. It's all material possession. Simple, like less than great. His influence continued to grow until he became very prominent. He had so many sheep and cattle. How many sheep and cattle did he have? He had so many sheep and cattle, and such a great household of servants that the Philistines became jelly. So the Philistines took dirt and filled up all the wells that his father's servants had dug back in the day of his father Abraham. So they are watching him be blessed, and they become jealous of it, so they take action against him. We're going to fill up all of the wells. That's what we're going to do. We're going to fill up all of the wells. Then Abimelech said to Isaac, "Leave us and go elsewhere, for you have become much more powerful than we are." Isn't that fascinating? Isaac has become more powerful than this king. How many servants does he have? He has only 2 kids. How many servants does he have that tend his flocks, that he is able to pay, that he's able to... Now, I don't know if he has kids yet, okay? We don't know when the kids come, because we got to wait 20 years. So if we jump back to the beginning of this, we don't know. So he's become powerful. So Isaac left there and settled in the Gerar Valley. Okay, so he's moved on to the valley instead of the city itself. The valley was actually a wadi, a dry riverbed where the water would flow in the rainy season, but this would have been rare in the Negev. The water table under it would have been higher than in the desert because the water soaked in during the torrents, making it easier to find water when digging wells. However, this does not minimize the blessing of the Lord, for men of the region knew this too, but did not have the same results. Oh, that's fascinating. I never thought about that. He goes and he settles in a wadi. So just like if you have a ravine around you or a riverbed, it'd be like, well, I'm going to go in the riverbed and I'm going to settle in the riverbed because in the riverbed, I'll have closer access to digging down to finding water. That's so cool. You stopped up all the wells. I'm going into the riverbed. I'm going to go to the wadi. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, there we go. Isaac reopened the wells that had been dug back in the days of his father Abraham, for the Philistines had stopped them up after Abraham died. Okay, now this sounds like they stopped him up after Abraham died. Previously, it sounded like they had stopped him up. Maybe there's some additional ones, okay? Isaac gave these wells the same names that his father gave to them. That's so interesting, like naming wells. But when you see a place that says beer, that is a well name. So it's a water source name. When Isaac's servants dug in the valley and discovered a well of fresh flowing water there, the herdsmen of Gerar quarreled with Isaac's herdsmen, saying, "The water belongs to us." So Isaac named the well Isaac because they argued with him about it. Okay, what do we have for Isaac? Isaac means argument in Hebrew. The following casual clause explains that Isaac gave the well the name as a reminder of the conflict in its discovery had created. The Hebrew text there is a wordplay of the name derived from the verb translated argued. So he called the name of the well Argued because they argued with him about it. His servants dug another well, but they quarreled with him over it too. So Isaac named it Sitnah. What does Sitnah mean? Sitnah is derived from the Hebrew verbal form meaning to oppose, to be an adversary. The name was a reminder that digging of the well caused opposition from the Philistines. Then he moved away from there and dug another well. They did not quarrel over it. So Isaac named it Rehoboth. For now the Lord had made room for us and will prosper in the land. What is Rehoboth? Rehoboth is derived from the verbal form meaning to make room. The name was a reminder that God had made room for them. The story shows Isaac's patience with the opposition. It also showed how God's blessing outdistanced the men of Gerar. They could not stop it or seize it any longer. Yeah, so it's interesting. So if we go back to our story of the 2 brothers, Isaac is a patient and deliberate person. He's not wanting conflict. He avoids conflict. He moves away from conflict. He is avoiding it, progressing from it, going on down the line. He knows God will bless him. From there, Isaac went up to Beersheba. The Lord appeared to him that night and said, I am the God of your father Abraham. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. I will bless you and multiply your descendants for the sake of my servant Abraham. Then Isaac built an altar there and worshiped the Lord. He pitched his tent there, and his servants dug a well. So, at least the second time that God has said this. I don't remember in our previous if he had said this to Isaac, but we know he says it to Abraham like 3 times. Here he's saying it to Isaac. Okay, we got ads coming in shortly, so let's go take a look at fishies, and I'll get up and stretch. And let me shift so you can look at all of them.
Pastor rocks his tweed, streaming life by the reeds. Fish pond calm and glassy clear, view it all right from here. Dapper man with sax in hand, plays tunes by his quiet land. Acoustic guitar in the breeze serenades the fish with ease. Watch the fish, they swim along to the rhythm of his song. Flatcat pastor shows the way, stream it live come what may. With his cam he shows it all, little fish both big and small. Life in pond so serene, nature's beauty on a screen. See the ripples, watch the flow, hear the music, gentle glow. Flat cap's charm and calming tone makes the fish feel right at home. Watch the fish, they swim along to the rhythm of his song. Flat cat pastor shows the way, stream it live come what may. Refuse Cammy shows it all, little fish both big and small. Life in pond so serene, nature's beauty on a screen.
All right, we should be back. Bum, bum, bum. MJ, hey, welcome in. Welcome in. Good to have you here. Yeah, from the post-Easter. Hope you're doing well, friend. Hope you're doing well. Okay. Now, Abimelech had come to him from Gerar, along with Ahuzah, his friend, and Pichol, the commander of his army. Isaac said to them, Why have you come to me? You hate me and sent me away from you. So, look at how Isaac's patience here, okay? He's told, you need to leave. Fine, I'll go to the wadi. I'll go to the place nobody goes. And then he gets chased out of the wadi. And he goes down further. And he goes down further. Finally, he goes all the way to Beersheba. He's moved away from where they were at. Now they come and visit him. Why? You hated me. They replied, We could plainly see that the Lord is with you, so we decided there should be a pact between us and you. Allow us to make a treaty with you so that you will not do us any harm, just as we have not harmed you, but have always treated you well before sending you away in peace. Look at how they're framing it. We've always treated you well. We've been so kind, very best. We've done the best job we could. Nobody's ever been more fair to anybody else. Before we sent you away, we had the best peace. Nobody else ever had any better peace than we had with you. What's interesting, I'm trying to think through. I don't think there are any times where Abraham is told not to make a treaty. I don't think there's any time Isaac is told not to make a treaty with others. Abraham does tell the king of Sodom, you can take your stuff. I don't want it. I will never let you say you made me rich. But he did take it from other people. He did take from Egypt. He did take from another king. I can't remember his name. I want to say it was Abimelech, but I could be wrong. Now you are blessed by the Lord. So we did all these wonderful things for you, and now we see that you're blessed by the Lord. So Isaac held a feast for them, and they celebrated. Early in the morning, the men made a treaty with each other. Isaac sent them off. They separated on good terms. What? You sent me away. You come here begging to be back in relationship. Yeah, that's okay. That's cool. You came to understand stuff. I can be the bigger man, and we can celebrate and have a party. Then we'll make a treaty. That day, Isaac's servants came and told him about the well they had dug. We found water, they reported. So they named it Shibah. That is the name of the city, has been Beersheba to this day. Oh, that is why the name of the city has been Beersheba. The name Beersheba means well of an oath. According to Abraham, gave Beersheba its name when he made a treaty with the Philistines because he did. There are parallels between the earlier story of the account in 26 and 23. Some scholars see chapter 21 and 26 of two versions of doublets of one original story. However, it takes the text as it stands. It appears that Isaac made the later treaty agreement with people of the land that was similar to his father. Abraham dug a well at the site and named the place Beersheba. Isaac dug another well there and named it Sheba. Later generations then associated the name Beersheba with Isaac, even though Abraham gave the name of the place in earlier times. Sheba means, or at least sounds like, the word for oath. The name was a reminder of the oath. Okay. So one of the things we have, so he's duplicated what his father did, but he's doing things in reverse order. He's doing things in reverse order in the land that his father does. This is a fascinating thing. So if we're wanting to see a chiasm here, we're seeing a chiasm of the backward movement of Isaac compared to the movement of Abraham. When Esau was 40 years old. Okay, so now we've jumped forward to 40 years old. If Isaac is 40 years old when he marries, and he's 60 years old when Esau is born, we are now at Isaac being 100 years old. Esau married Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite, as well as Basemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. They caused Isaac and Rebekah great anxiety. 85. And they were a source of bitterness in the spirit of Isaac and Rebekah. Okay. So why does Esau get married at age 40? Well, we also had, we had Isaac getting married at that late age. But what we don't have is Isaac going and sending for anybody to marry from the family. We don't have him doing that. Esau, apparently the older brother, is tired of waiting. He's going to take matters into his own hands. That's what we have going on here. Esau's like, I'm done with the waiting. I need a wife, and I need one today. When Isaac was old and his eyes were so weak that he was almost blind, he called his older son Esau and said to him, "My son." "Here I am," Esau replied. Isaac said, "Since I am so old, I could die at any time. Therefore, take your weapons, your quiver, and your bow, and go to the open field and hunt down some wild game for me." Okay. So he was just 100 years old. And now he's going to go send his son out to hunt wild game. Okay, got that. Is he old? He's obviously older than 100, but how many years later is this? Don't know. Then prepare for me some tasty food, the kind I love, and bring it to me. Then I will eat it, so I may bless you before I die. So that my soul may bless you. The use of nafesh, nafshi, my soul. Oh, it's, yeah, she, my soul, was the subject emphasizing that the blessing will be made with all Isaac's desire and vitality. The conjunction so that closely relates to the meal, to the blessing, suggesting that this will be a ritual meal in conjunction with the giving of a formal blessing. Yeah. So we need to have a ceremony. We need to have a meal to be able to do this. Now, Rebekah had been listening while Isaac spoke to his son Esau. This is only our second, or I should say our third encounter with Rebekah. Okay, we have Rebekah when she's introduced and with her family and how she blessed the servants. Then we have Rebekah inquiring of God about the kids. Now we have our third encounter with Rebekah. That's it. Like, we don't know much. We have to go all the way back to how did she act when she was with our servant, serving the servant of Abraham. But also we can see the family, Laban, her brother specifically, and we can see that she went along with Isaac's deception about saying, "You're my sister." So just trying to point out all those things out that we know about her. When Esau went to the open, when Isaac spoke to Esau. When Esau went out to the open field to hunt down some wild game and bring it back, Rebekah said to her son Jacob, "Look, I overheard your father tell your brother Esau, bring me some wild game and prepare for me some tasty food. Then I will eat it and bless you in the presence of the Lord before I die. Now then, my son, do exactly what I tell you." Okay, just think about this position here. Mom is telling you to do something that is going to deceive your father and steal from your brother. Just think about that for a minute. Who do you listen to? Who do you obey? Do you obey mom to deceive father and steal from your brother? Like what a horrible situation to be put in, okay? I know we want to blame Jacob here, but look at the situation he's put in. Do exactly what I tell you. Go to the flocks and get me 2 of your best young goats. I'll prepare them in a tasty way for your father, just the way he loves them. Then you will take it to your father. Thus he will eat it and he will bless you before he dies. So just like, hey, I got a simple plan. You go get some goats. I'll make the food. You go to your father. So Jacob is making excuses here, but I think he's making excuses because he thinks he can get out of it. So instead of objecting to Mom, I don't want to go deceive Dad. I don't want to go rob my brother of something. Let me go on my own terms to Dad. Let me get my own blessing from Dad. Let me go in and get a blessing before my brother. Or let me just, he doesn't try to come up with an alternative. He comes up with excuses. But with coming up with excuses, she's able to disregard the excuses and get rid of them. Yeah, the patriarchs were pretty dysfunctional, weren't they? Well, they totally were. And I think part of the reason why the dysfunction is included in here is to show that God doesn't choose us based on our functionality. Like, I've got it all together. God might choose me. No, I don't have it all together. God might choose me anyway. Okay, so he's going to come up with excuses. But Esau, my brother, is a hairy man, Jacob protested to his mother, Rebekah, and I have smooth skin. Like, it can't happen. It can't happen. Yeah, we are also dysfunctional today. Well, totally. My father may touch me. Then he'll think I'm mocking him, and I'll bring a curse on my head instead of a blessing. Like, hey, I'm going to be cursed if I go and fail at this, Mom. I don't want to curse. So his mom told him, any curse against you will fall on me. I'll take it. I'll take it. If he curses you, I will accept the curse. I don't know if that actually can happen. I mean, we do have the idea of a blessing goes upon you so that if someone blesses you, they will receive a blessing in return, that those are reciprocal. But I don't know if fully a curse can be, I don't know. I'm just wondering there. Any curse against you will fall on me, my son. Just obey me. Go and get them for me. So she's insisting, but she hasn't told the plan of how she's going to come up with a solution to his problem yet. We have to make the assumption he doesn't know the solution, and he goes along with this now, saying, Mom will take the curse. Okay, I can go try to do, Mom, what you want me to do. So he went and got the goats and brought them to his mother. She prepared some tasty food just the way his father loved it. Then Rebekah took her older son Esau's best clothes, which she had with her in the house, and put them on her younger son Jacob. She put the skins of the young goats on his hands and the smooth part of his neck. Okay, so on his neck too. Like, this is how hairy he is. His hands are going to be like goat fur, and so is his neck. I mean, and Sasquatch, anyone? Like, this is what I want. I want a red-headed Sasquatch, or maybe Neanderthal image when I see Esau portrayed, you know. She handed the tasty food and bread she had made to her son Jacob. He went to his father and said, "My father." Isaac replied, "Here I am. Which are you, my son?" Okay, think about this. Do you sound close enough alike to someone that they mistake you? Like, you know, it used to be the days you call someone on the phone and a sibling answers the phone, and you would mistake the sibling for the person you went to talk to, because their voice would sound similar enough, especially when you hadn't heard it often enough to know it was different. So imagine now that you're getting hard of hearing and you can't see, and one of your kids says, "Hi, Dad," and you're like, "Well, which one of my kids are you?" Jacob answered and said, "I am Esau, your firstborn. I've done as you have told me. Now sit up and eat some of the wild game so that you can bless me." Okay, let me just go back here to the footnote. Does it say anything? Which one are you, my sons? Oh. The question shows the deception is going to require more subterfuge than Rebekah had anticipated. I don't think that's what it shows. It shows to me that we're going to play out. Yeah, that doesn't sound suspicious at all. Yeah. It shows that Dad's not going to be duped. That's what it shows. Dad is not going to easily be duped here. That he's going to not play along with it. Dad is going to make inquiries. Now, oh yeah, so that you can bless me. Yes. Well, he would have known this. He would have known this because it was said to him. Oh, these words, though not reported by Rebekah to Jacob, articulate or accurately reflect what Isaac actually said to Esau. Perhaps Jacob knew more than Rebekah realized, but it was more likely that this was an idiom for sincere blessing with which Jacob was familiar. At this rate, his use of, I did not realize Jacob didn't hear that part of the story, the "so you can bless me" part. or so that your soul can bless me. Anyway, what's interesting here is that what Dad doesn't do is say one of the names of the sons. Hey, Esau, how are you back so quick? Or, hey, Jacob, what do you need? Because his assumption is this was too quick to go out into the field and to get an animal and make the stew. This would totally be too quick of a timeline. So he could have instead said something different. So I think the reason that the author has him saying it this way is because we're supposed to be curious. Is the deception going to work? Is the deception going to work? That's why it's being told this way, I think, because we're supposed to be going, when we're hearing this story told, is it going to work? Is he going to see through it? Which one of my sons are you? But Isaac asked his son. Now, here's where the deception is going to take more work. How in the world did you find it so quickly, my son? Here's where wait a minute, Dad can see through. This should have taken longer. Because the Lord your God brought it to me, he replied. Okay, this is an interesting phrase. Let me see what they say here in the footnote, because, okay, Lord your God, the order of the introduction clause, the direct discourse has been, okay. I'm going to take a little aside here, and this may be something you've never heard before. Okay. The Lord your God brought it to me. Okay. Yes, exactly, RT Bible. Your God. So follow along with me. Esau marries 2 Hittite women who cause great scorn. So is Esau actually a follower of God, of the God of his parents? Is he actually a follower of Yahweh? He does not appear to be a follower of Yahweh when he goes and he marries 2 Hittite women. Later, the descendants of him do not portray themselves as followers of Yahweh. They're not followers of God. They have their own God. So, is Esau ever a follower of the one true God? Here, when Jacob says, the Lord your God, is this a hint that Esau would have said it this way because it wasn't his God? And so by saying, the Lord your God did this for me to bless you. And maybe Isaac knows all of this, and his hope is that by putting a blessing on his son, who is not a follower of God, that by having a blessing upon him from God, that he will become a follower of God finally. Like I said, I don't know if you've ever heard that, but there's clues along the way that show that Esau may not be a follower of God, that he doesn't have a relationship with God. Going and marrying 2 Hittite women is one of them. Hear the phrase of Jacob saying, the Lord your God brought it to me, not my God, not God brought it to me, your God. However, we can't read too much into that as well, because the servant also says that of the God of Abraham. So you're saying that this as an honor to your father. So it could be a phrase used that way, and we could be reading too much into it, but it's a clue that we could say this, along with these other things, lead to maybe the fact that Esau never followed God. Okay. Then Isaac said to Jacob, come closer so I can touch you, my son, and know for certain if, if you are my son Esau. So the voice was a little shaky. The rationale, a little shaky. So we're going to do the smell and touch. You don't think Jacob was much of a believer until the vision at Bethel. Yeah, we can talk about Jacob too and his relationship. We don't really have any clues yet of Jacob's relationship with God. But we don't have any clues either that he is far away from God. We have no clues yet on Jacob's status. But yeah, good point. We will see that at some point. I would say the clues for Isaac being a follower of God are when Abraham says, I'm going to tie you up and put you on this sacrifice. That's our first clue that he is a follower of God. And then him praying to God, I think, is the next one. But we don't know how deep his relationship is. But it seems like it would have been if he constantly is naming things for praising God, if people are seeing him blessed by God. So it seems like Isaac's relationship with God is deep and strong. Okay. So Jacob went over to his father Isaac. He felt him and said, the voice is Jacob's, but the hands are Esau's. So apparently his brother wasn't able to do a good impersonation of the voice of his brother. Dude, you lived with him your whole life. You couldn't change your voice and tone to be able to sound like someone else so you could fool your dad? And if Dad knew it was Jacob, why didn't he just say that from the start? No, I know you, Jacob. You can't come in here fooling me. He doesn't directly confront him. So look at the pattern already that we have established of Isaac. Isaac goes along to get along. He moves away from the problem. He moves on down the road. So that's also why Jacob's able to do this. Like, the voice isn't you. I know it's you, Jacob. Well, I'll go along and find out what's more. Well, you told me it's who you are. I don't know that's who you are. Well, this makes no logical sense. This couldn't have happened so quickly. Okay, let me do the touch and smell test. Temple Snow, the other day you noticed that the heirs always come through the woman that the man was really in love with. Say more on that, because in a sense, you have Jacob and Esau. The woman that's loved is Rebecca, so they're the same. So I don't know that applies there. But yeah, you have Abraham and Sarah, the one that he loves, and then later wives and concubines. And you have Jacob with Rachel and Leah, and you have the descendants there. But it depends on which descendant you're talking about. You have Joseph, but the kingly line comes through Judah, which is not. It's just Benjamin and Joseph are from the woman real love. So I'm not sure what you're saying there, Temple Snail. Okay. So Jacob went over to his father Isaac, and he felt him. Oh, the voice. Okay. He did not recognize him because his hands were hairy, like his brother Esau's hands. So Isaac blessed Jacob. Then he asked, "Are you really my son Esau?" Okay, wait. So he blesses him, and after blessing him, he asks one more time, "Are you really my son Esau?" "I am," Jacob replied. Okay, so they're just putting Jacob in instead of the pronouns. Abraham with Sarah, not Hagar and Keturah. With Jacob, it's Rachel, who he really loved, and her son Judah was the heir. Okay, let's go back, because I don't think that Judah was the son of Rachel. I thought Rachel's oldest son was Joseph and Benjamin, and those were her two sons. Now, if you're saying the concubine of Rachel, that might work. Judah's mother is Leah. Leah was the mother of 6 of Jacob's sons, including the first 4, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, and later 2 more, Issachar and Zebulun, and the daughter Dinah. Yeah, all right, theory debunked. Okay, no worries. You can look at it a different way, though. When you look at it is Joseph who gets the double portion, and there's 2 tribes that get it. So you have that. But also notice it's Judah. So Reuben and Simeon, Reuben violates, he tries to usurp his father, so he's not the one who the blessing comes from. Simeon and Levi take revenge for their brother Dinah, and so they don't get to be able to be the ones through whom blessing comes. So it passes down to Judah. Judah is now the one who is head of household. Judah steps into that role because the oldest 3 brothers violate the role of being the Behor, being head of household. And Joseph serves at it from the double portion blessing standpoint, but from being the one who serves in the role of it, of kingship, would be Judah. So it's Leah totally. So that's not. Levi also comes from Leah, who would be the priestly role. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I didn't remember who Judah came from, but I did remember that I believe Rachel has only 2, which is Joseph, which is why Joseph is the one who is dearly loved by Dad, and then Benjamin is the replacement later on. Hey, no worries. Sometimes things look good, and then you dig a little further, and it doesn't follow all the way through. So, but there is a reversal of orders of things from the standard. That we certainly do have. So there is no guarantee of status. Okay, so I really am. Isaac said, "Bring me some of the wild game to me to eat, son. Then I will bless you." Wait. So Isaac blessed Jacob. So this is more of the, because of this, he is going to do this, not in the moment he did this. So he's going to bless him because the ruse has worked. So let's just play through this one more time. Are you Jacob? I am Jacob. Bring me some of the game. I bring some of the game. Then I will bless you. So Jacob brought in to him, and he ate it. He also brought him wine, and Isaac drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, "Come here and kiss me, my son." One last final test to see if he truly is. So yes, this is taking a lot more work on his part to pull this off. So Jacob went over and kissed him. When Isaac caught the scent of his clothing, he blessed him, saying, so it's finally the smell. He passed the smell test. It passed the sniff test. Jacob passed the sniff test. I wonder if this is where this comes from. I probably doesn't, but wouldn't that be funny? It passed the sniff test. Yes, my son smells like the scent of an open field, which the Lord has blessed. May God give you the dew of the sky and the riches of the earth and plenty of grain and new wine. So rain and whatever bounty comes to the earth, grain and wine. May people serve you and nations bow down to you. You will be Lord over your brothers. He only has one. Why is it plural? It is all your relatives. All your relatives. And the sons of your mother will bow down to you. Following the imperative, the prefix verbal form, which is either an imperfect or adjussive, with the prefix indicates purpose or result. Okay, you'll be Lord over as a result. This will happen, or the purpose of this is this will happen. The purpose be, okay. May those who curse you be cursed, and those who bless you be blessed. Kind of pretty much sounds on some level like the blessing of those who bless you and cursing of those who curse you. Just a reciprocation of what Abraham received, what Isaac received, and now he's giving it to Jacob. Isaac had just finished blessing Jacob, and Jacob had scarcely left his father's presence when his brother Esau returned from the hunt. He also prepared some tasty food and brought it to his father. Esau said to him, "My father, get up and eat some of your son's wild game. Then you can bless me." Wonder if he uses the same phrase, "your soul can bless me." Yes, he does. So notice both. So it wasn't so out of character for the statement that that Jacob used. It was the exact phrase that now we see Esau using. His father asked him, "Who are you?" "I am your firstborn," he replied. Esau. Look at the phrasing is identical to the way that is mentioned already. So look at how well Jacob did at using the phrasing and the statements that his brother would have. Isaac began to shake violently and asked, "Then who else hunted game and brought it to me? I ate all of it just before you arrived, and I blessed him. He will indeed be blessed." Isaac trembled with a great tremble to excess. Oh, see, if we kept the words "great" here, that would be so awesome. I love that. Like, this is one of my biggest pet peeves against like all translations, is we don't choose, and I know it doesn't always work, but like the word "great" has such a wide variety of usage that just repetition of the word "great" is going to ring in our ears, especially when you hear this read out loud. And he shook with a great shake. A great tremble, he trembled greatly. Like, I'm going to catch all of that. I'm going to go, ooh, this is back to other things in the story when great things are happening. Yeah, exactly. No takebacks. He is blessed in. If your father blesses you, you are blessed indeed. Yes, he indeed is blessed. Can't take it back. Why is he trembling? Why? What? Like, obviously he could figure out that it's the other son. Why would that be a problem for him to have blessed the wrong son? Why is he trembling? Like, this is like, I mean, like, this is way beyond, like, I really don't understand that. Like, I'm going to shake with fear because of being deceived. I mean, is it because of his lack of now ability to give his son what he wished to give him? He's been robbed of what he set out to do. I mean, that's my guess here, but I don't really understand the shaking. You don't know what these blessings even mean. Oh, well, let's go back and look at it. Okay, so part of the idea with passing on a blessing is not that I just am saying random phrases of hopes over you. They would have been things that would have been prepared, that you would like spend time working diligently to figure out what you were to say. You would go to God with these things. There would be a possibility or a thought process that it is insight from God that you are going to speak into existence. So if we go back to creation and God speaks and things happen. So by the power of your mouth, the blessing that you are giving them, you are speaking over them for these things to come about around you. Oh, how is it different than the birthright? Oh, well, the birthright simply has to do with, Damara, welcome in. The birthright has to do with what is being passed on to you from your father. So if we just take land and animals, right? Let's jump to the story of the man with two sons, the prodigal son in the New Testament. So if we have two sons, we divide it up into three. The oldest gets a double portion. So if we have 100 camels, the oldest son gets 66, 2 portions, and the youngest gets 33. I don't know what we do the extra one. I'm just, we'll figure that out. So the oldest gets 2, the youngest gets 1. The oldest purpose of having 2 is because he has had a household. So if the youngest one loses everything, the oldest one is supposed to care for that whole part of the family. So that is the inheritance. That is the birthright part. So the oldest gets a portion, which is a portion for them to care for the whole of the family. So when you get down to 12 sons, you divide it into 13, although Levi doesn't get a portion, so they end up dividing it into 12 with the 12 sons of Jacob, because Levi's out of the portion, and then Joseph gets 2 portions. That's why the Ephraim and Manasseh are the 2, so they go in there. So it's divided into 12, and all 12 get a portion of the inheritance there. The double portion is given in that way. So they are the ones who are to care and watch over the family. So it should have been Ephraim and Manasseh who should have been watching over and caring for the family with the double portion there. They should have worked together and chose to do that. They would have had the means because they had more given to them to care for. So that's what the whole inheritance thing is. That's what the birthright is. It's about possessions. Blessing, on the other hand, is different. It's about who you are, and it's about God's presence with you. So yeah, there can be overlap with these, but they're thought to be. Or you spend time with God processing these out. You don't just sit down and just whatever comes to the top of your head, say it. You think through these things. You speak them over the person. You are giving them to God and to the person for them to become reality. So it goes back to Genesis and the power of spoken words. With God creating things. So me being able to bless things is speaking over them and speaking into existence things. I don't mean speaking into existence like the way people do with, I can't think of what the word is, like mantras that you like, I say it every morning when I look in the mirror. You are a beautiful, beautiful person and you're going to do great things today. Not that kind of a thing. Not that kind of a thing. Jesus goes after the one. Not sure what you mean there. Affirmations. Yeah, affirmations. Yeah, this isn't a speaking affirmations thing. This is a declaration kind of a thing. Okay, so may peoples serve you and nations bow down to you. We are supposed to, as we are reading this, see this as a foreshadowing of this is exactly what is going to happen to Jacob. People are going to serve Jacob, and nations will bow down to him. You will be Lord over your brothers. All of your relatives will do this. Brothers in the family sense. And the sons of your mother will bow down to you. Okay, so we're supposed to watch for this to take place. And those who curse you will be cursed, and those who bless you will be blessed. This is a passing on of what the blessing from God was to Abraham and to Isaac, and now being passed on to Jacob from his father. Okay, hope that's making sense. So blessings are different than birthright. So birthright is just I get a double portion and I'm head of household. So I can be that and I can be a jerk and I can be not blessed by God and come to ruin and other things. But blessings are, so let's see what we get when we have the second blessing. Let's see what happens there. And it is supposed to be a blessing. Auto mod. You are saying that there were 100 sheep and you're not sure what to do with the leftover one. Oh, okay, that one. After they split it 3, I was joking that Jesus does after the one lost sheep. Okay, yeah. I wasn't fully getting the connection. I was like thinking the 99 with the 100. Yeah, he goes after. Okay, but he goes after the one, but I didn't get the one was left because I split the 100 and I had a leftover. Okay. Now I'm tracking with you. Which, by the way, if it's sheep, you could offer that sheep as the ceremonial and we split the meal and we have a meal together. That would be a good thought on that. So. And Automod was a little picky on that one. Okay. I didn't catch it being the one left over. That's the part I missed. Okay. Okay, shaking violently, he indeed will be blessed. Okay. When Esau heard his father's word, he wailed loudly and bitterly. Okay, so notice the difference here. He has no regard for his birthright. He has no regard for the birthright. I don't care about being the head of household, being responsible for everyone in the family. I don't care, just so long as I can go hunt whenever I want. I just want to do my own thing. I don't want to care for other people. I don't care if I get a double portion. I don't care about that. I have no regard. It just does not matter. But the blessing he does. He is wailing loudly and bitterly. He wanted this desperately. Part of this desperately wanting is because maybe he saw that his relationship with his two wives has caused problems for his father. And so now he wants to be back in good graces of his father. He was going to get being back in the good graces of his father. And now that is gone. Let me see what it says on the footnote. He yelled with a great and bitter yell to excess. Here again, we have the word great. Great again. He greatly. He said to his father, "Bless me too, my father." But Isaac replied, "Your brother came in here deceitfully and took away your blessing. Your blessing is gone. This was for you. He took it. I can't take it back." This is one of those interesting things, too. Like, think through this going forward. The establishment of treaties can't be broken even if it was under deception. The receiving of a blessing cannot be undone even if it was under deception. That's a fascinating thought. That's a fascinating thought. You you spoke these words over this person, even though you were deceived. They are binding. You made a treaty with this person, even though you were deceived. That treaty is binding. I think that seeing it here helps to make sense of that over there, but that's my thought. Okay. He took away my Esau exclaimed, "Jacob is the right name for him. He has tripped me up 2 times. The rhetorical question, is it not right? Is he not rightly named Jacob? I like the question better than the statement. Okay. When originally given, the name Jacob was a play on words heel. The name, since it is a verb, probably means something like, may he protect. That is a rear guard, dodging the heel. The name was probably chosen because the imminent association identified with grabbing the heel. Esau gives Jacob a negative connotation here, to trip or to supplant. He has supplanted me 2 times. He took away my birthright, and now look, he has taken away my blessing. Then he asked, have you not kept back a blessing for me? Don't you have something left? Like, did you leave something out of the blessing? Like, let's just rattle through some things. So I'm going to bless you with a good house. I'm just thinking of food, shelter, and clothing that people might have. I'm going to bless you with some dapper attire, and I'm going to bless you with grain, and I'm going to bless you with some wine. Okay, so the wine and the grain, those are already taken care of. And I'm blessing you with wealth, so there's all your dapper attire. Can I still get a blessing for good looks, Dad? Can I get a blessing for good looks? Can I get, what's left? What did you leave out? What is possibly that, Or didn't you prepare 2 blessings for each of us? I'll take the other one. I'll take the other one. Isaac replied to Esau, look, I have made him lord over you. I have made all his relatives his servants and provided him with grain and new wine. What is left that I can do for you, my son? That's what I was saying. I gave him all these things. These were supposed to be to you, but I gave them to him. Esau said to his father, do you have only that one blessing, my father? Bless me too. Then Esau wept loudly. Ooh, does this going to say greatly? Come on, tell me it's he wept greatly. No, lifted his voice and wept. Okay. So look at the pleading here to get a blessing. He has no regard whatsoever for his birthright, but he's like, Dad, don't you have one? Dad, what do you have left? Dad, can't you give me one? He's weeping and loud, wailing greatly. He's weeping and wailing greatly again. So his father Isaac said to him, see here, your home will be by the richness of the earth and the dew of the sky above. Wait, he did give dew of the sky above to his brother, so I guess you can give some. You can give some double or some blessings to more than one, excuse me. So the question that's not clear here is, was this the blessing he had intended for Jacob, or is he now adding things up on the spot rather than a prepared blessing? Is this a prepared blessing that was for his brother, or is this a spur of the moment blessing that just doesn't sound like it's super blessing? Okay. See here, your home will be by the richness of the earth. The fatness. Okay. So we still got the rain is going to come. So we still get the God's blessing of rain. Rain falls on the just and the unjust. So you will live by the sword, but you will serve your brother. So you still got to serve your brother, but you can live by the sword. When you grow restless, you will tear off his yoke from your neck. Boom. So you're going to be able to break the yoke of your brother. You're going to get out from underneath this. You will tear off the yoke from your neck. It may be a prophetic blessing found in fulfillment when Jerusalem fell and Edom got its revenge. The oracle makes Edom subservient to Israel and suggests the Edomites would live away from the best land and be forced to sustain themselves by violent measures. But there's still you'll get out from under the yoke of your brother. You're going to get out from underneath him. So Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing his father had given to his brother. Esau said privately, the time of mourning of my father is near. Then I will kill my brother Jacob. Okay, let's see what we have here with hated, bore a grudge against. The Hebrew verb satam describes persistent hatred. Said in his heart. The expression may mean said to himself. Even if it is the case, makes it clear that he must have shared his intentions with someone because the news reached Rebekah. Okay, I want to go look up the word hated here. 27:41. Bumpity 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 bum bum bum. Satam.
Strong's H, 7852. Satam. Satam.
To hate, oppose oneself to bear a grudge, retain animosity against, cherish animosity against. Ooh, that's a beautiful rendering. Cherishing animosity against. I love hating you. This would be a great one to think about sports rivalries. The love of hating the other team in rivalries. Cherishing the animosity against you. So 27:41, this is the first use of it. Interesting. Okay. Thank you, Lucis. Okay. When Rebekah heard what her older son Esau had said. Okay. So he says to himself, so he may have said it out loud, but she's got spies all around the house. So, I mean, they got servants everywhere. So I'm just going to say she's got spies spying on everyone in the house, reporting to her what anybody says, thinking that's how it possibly came about. She quickly summoned her younger son, Jacob, and told him, look, your brother Esau is planning to get revenge by killing you. Now then, my son, do what I say. Run away immediately to my brother Laban in Haran. Live with him for a little while until your brother's rage subsides. Stay there until your brother's anger against you subsides and he forgets what you did to him. Then I will send someone to bring you back from there. Why should I lose both of you in one day? So the both in one day is going to be dad dies and then you'll be killed. If Jacob stayed, he would have been killed and Esau would have been forced to run away. Oh, yeah, he was grumbling. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, or he's confiding in someone else in the household, a servant that he trusts, there's a hunting buddy, whatever it might be. I do not see this as Esau will be forced to run away. Sorry, both dying in one day. I see this as in the day that dad dies, your brother's going to kill you. So I will lose both my husband and my son in the same day. I don't see this as losing Esau. Don't see that. Then Rebekah said to Isaac, I am deeply depressed because of the daughters of Heth. If if Jacob were to marry one of these daughters of Heth who live in the land, I would want to die. Heth, Hebrew term Heth as Hittite here, but they give the impression that these people were the classical Hittites of Anatolia because there is no known connection between these sons of Heth, apparently a Canaanite group. Okay, so the Hittites he married might be a different group, but it doesn't matter. So Isaac called for Jacob. So mom sets up the scenario, but Jacob doesn't leave. Don't we get the impression that mom is sending him away and he's supposed to run, but he hasn't left yet, and now dad calls him in? So Isaac called Jacob and blessed him. He's going to bless him again? He just gave a blessing to him. He's going to give another blessing to him. It said he blessed him, then it does all the stuff, then it says he blessed him, and here was the blessing, and now here's the third time it says he blessed him. Then he commanded him, you must not marry a Canaanite woman. Leave immediately for Padan Aram. Go to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and find yourself a wife there among the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. May the sovereign God bless you. Okay, what do we have there? Oh, El Shaddai. Okay. May he make you fruitful and give you a multitude of descendants. Here's the blessing. What's the first blessing in Scripture? Be fruitful and multiply. So here we're going to say, be fruitful and multiply. So we're going to look for be fruitful and multiply happening in his life. Then you will become a large nation. May he give you and your descendants the blessing he gave Abraham. So now he's intentionally passing on the blessing of Abraham. Though he did it in some way before, he is now calling for him to be the recipient of the Abraham blessing, so that you may possess the land. God gave to Abraham the land where you have been living as a temporary resident. So Isaac sent Jacob on his way, and he went to Padan Aram, to Laban, son of Bethuel, the Aramean, and the brother of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him off to Padan Aram to get a wife there. Wait a minute. You didn't have another blessing for me, and you just blessed my brother? Couldn't you have blessed me with the blessing that you were going to give him, that you just gave him about the blessing of Abraham? You could have given me that, Dad. Why didn't you give that to me? Just saying. Another thing I'm wondering here, Rebekah says, I will send for you. Rebekah never sends. Rebekah never sends for him. We'll have to notice that. Let me see how far we can get. We got an ad break coming in. Let's snooze that. Okay. Esau saw that Isaac had been blessed Jacob and sent him off to Padan Aram to find a wife. As he blessed him, Isaac commanded him, "You must not marry a Canaanite woman." Jacob obeyed his father and mother and left for Padan Aram. Then Esau realized that the Canaanite women were displeasing to his father Isaac. Wow. You just now get it. You just now get it. So Esau went to Ishmael and married Mahalath, the sister of Nebaioth and daughter of Abraham's son Ishmael, along with the wives he already had. So now he doesn't go to Padan Aram, which is where his brother is being sent to find a... Okay, so just think about this one for a minute. He knows his dad is sending his brother away to get a wife from among his mother's relatives. He could have said, I'm going to go do this first. My brother stole this blessing from me. What if I went over to Uncle Laban? I showed up with Uncle Laban, and I said, hey, I want to marry your daughter. You know who he would have married? He would have married Leah. He would have married Leah, and Jacob would have just married Rachel. What? Yeah. Instead, he's still the meh. It's good enough. Yeah, birthright. Yeah, okay. I'll do the easy way. I'll do the shortcut way. Oh, I just need a relative. Ishmael's closer. Let me go get a daughter from the family of Ishmael. So he married Mahalath. Let me go look that name up. Verse 9. Esau and Leah sitting in a tree. Here we go. What verse are we in? 28:9. Mahalath. And why do we have the sister of Nebaioth mentioned? Okay, Mahalath.
Strong's H 4258. Mahalath.
Stringed instrument. Nebaioth.
Strong's H 5032. Neviah. And second entry, Nevaioth.
See, I got the second one. Heights. So, musical instrument of heights. Okay, this leads us over to the Nabateans, which is the capital of Petra. So, this is going to get us to the connection of where they later end up. Where Esau later ends up. MJ, you imagine Esau was so hairy he'd get tangled up in the branches. Awkward date for Leah sitting in the tree. There we go. Okay. I don't want to get into Jacob's dream. We won't have time to go into that. And I think that's an important distinguishing factor in his life. So we are at 28:9 is where we made it to today. Okay, but I'm trying to, let me just take a minute and think, what other books do I want to maybe go to next when we finish Ephesians? We did James, right? Let me just double check. We did Ruth, Jonah, James, Esther, Ephesians. We're going to do some of the Torah. We won't get to all of it. I don't think Joshua and Judges are really favorites. Ooh, we might do Nehemiah. Nehemiah might be where we go next. I love Nehemiah. I think that's it. I think we'll go Nehemiah next. I also like Habakkuk, which is a weird book, but I like Habakkuk. Or Habakkuk. Oops. We're doing Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and if we have time, Acts. We did James. We're doing Ephesians. We could do Philippians. We could do Galatians. We got a couple others in there. I think we're going to go do Nehemiah, though. I really like Nehemiah. So let's put Nehemiah on our list. Nehemiah. Yeah, let's put Philippians on the list too. Maybe we'll do Judges. I'm not in the mood for Judges right now. We'll see. We'll see. It's not. I really wouldn't. But when we get down further past hey, what are my favorites? So I think that's what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna do Nehemiah, and then we'll do Philippians. I like the bouncing back and forth, somewhat of New Testament, Old Testament, depending on how long they are. That makes sense to me. Okay, ads are gonna be starting, and we'll be switching over to workout stream.
Flat Cat Pastor rocks his tweet, streaming life by the reeds. Fish pond calm and glassy clear, view it all right from here. Dapper man with sax in hand, plays tunes by his quiet land. Acoustic guitar in the breeze serenades the fish with ease. Watch the fish, they swim along to the rhythm of his song. Flat Cat Pastor shows the way, stream it live come what may. With his cam he shows it all, little fish both big and small. Life in ponds so serene, nature's beauty on a screen.